Hey, what's up, y'all? Back again with another video. I hope you guys are all doing well, taking care of yourself, eating foods that resonate with you, and staying hydrated. So I want to talk about narcissists and how they get their energy. So think about your favorite dish that you just absolutely love, or something that you've been craving, and you finally get that item or that food that you have been craving for the past 3 days or a week or however long. The craving is intensely strong for that food or that particular snack that you truly enjoy. So when a narcissist is eating, or when you're eating the food, how do you feel when you are eating the food? It's pure satisfaction. It's pure satisfaction. There is a sense of, this is so yummy, like I've been waiting for this for a while now, and it tastes so good. This is the same thing of how narcissists get energy from others. This is how they crave it. They basically crave energy from people by trying to get a reaction out of you, to try to provoke you so they can get an initial high, so they can be seen, so they can feel validated, that they're important, that someone cares about them, because you're reacting to what they are doing. So when you're eating the food and you're eating it like it's your last meal, that is how narcissists gain energy. It's the same concept. They eat it, they devour energy the same way as the food craving. Your favorite food, it's so satisfying. It hits the spot. And so that's what narcissists do. They try to trigger you any way possible to get any type of reaction out of you, because they have no soul. They don't recognize who they truly are. And so they believe that that's how they can get energy. And it's honestly a cheap way to get energy, because it's definitely not sustainable. And a person who is not narcissistic, or if you want to call them empath, or whatever the case may be, those people are the ones that are at the brunt. But it's your duty to strengthen yourself, to get as confident in yourself and not need validation or to prove yourself to anyone, because that's proving to the universe, to yourself, to God, that you're not self-sufficient in maintaining your own energy and recognizing where you put your energy. It's in the sense of, you're just telling the universe that you don't really truly love yourself, to not engage in giving that person validation. You're just basically saying you don't love yourself fully because you're entertaining that situation. And it takes a while to not react to people and the things that they do. And you have to remember, you cannot control anyone, no matter how much you like them, no matter how much you love them, no matter if they are your family member. If they don't want to change, they're not going to change. Like, you can't want them to change more than they don't want to change, more than them. You can't want them to change more than they do. They have to want to change. And if a person doesn't, you just have to leave them where they're at, and walk away if you can, or just not engage. That's one way in doing it. And I know sometimes you're in an environment where you can't get away because you live with these people and it's difficult, but see how you can basically calm yourself down, be internal, and recognize your own personal triggers, because it's definitely helping you to boost your confidence. But I do want to recognize that it is a cheap way to get energy, because it's definitely not sustainable. It's the same thing as if a person it wants to prove someone wrong. You get a high off of wanting to prove people wrong and prove them wrong, that you can do something, and that energy isn't sustainable at times. It's really not, because you have to, at the end of the day, keep that energy going, keeping that fire going within you. And if you don't have people who are hating on you, then where's your true inspiration at the end of the day? But a true narcissist, they'll devour your energy if you allow them, and you have to have a lot of respect for yourself, and you have to learn the areas, your weak spots of what triggers you, why does it make you feel some type of way, why does it hurt your feelings that they're saying the things that they're saying to you. You have to strengthen the power within you, because we all have our own unique energy and our own unique path and our own unique power that is for yourself. And you have to recognize that and continue to work on that. And just because someone is a certain thing to you, or a partner, or a family member, and they talk to you a certain way, that is just showing you how they truly feel about themselves. It's truly showing you the thoughts that they entertained and they allowed to consume them on a regular basis. So the first thing that somebody would want to do is tear you down and talk badly about you. That is showing you what they think about all the time, or the entity that is attached to them. Because there's so many thoughts roaming around on this planet Earth that people can get hijacked into and don't even realize that it's not their thought, and it's a bunch of other people's thoughts, and it's truly not even yours, you know? So if you have that common thought of panic, anxiety, oh, you're gonna lose this, oh, you're gonna lose that job, that is what other people around you are actually thinking. It's not yours. And you have a quick choice to understand that, do I want to accept that energy as my own? Because your duty is to be present and be appreciative of what's going on right now, what you have, the knowledge that you do know. The more that you are in a grateful spirit, the more that your energy will change, and God will show you more on your path, more on your journey, because you are grateful for what you have right now. Because people are literally in hell in their mind. They're walking around with hell in their mind. And it took me a long time to understand that not everybody's thinking the way that I think. Not everyone is having the same joy that I'm choosing to have. And when I would go out into the world as my younger self, my feelings would get hurt constantly, because I didn't understand what the hell was going on, because I believe just because someone is religious that they're nice. I believe that because this person is this way that they're nice, or they have this title that they're nice. No, it's all subjective to them and what they think about on a consistent basis, what's going on in their life. And when you understand that people are basically walking worlds of their own, they're walking planets on their own, and they think what they want to think. They have thoughts that are not the greatest. And if you recognize that you're supposed to take care of your own world, your own mind, your own health, versus trying to convince someone that they are special, and they don't want to hear it. They don't believe it. You know, you really can't do much if they don't want to change. So like I said, people are walking around with hell in their mind. They're walking hells, walking demon heads, walking around on this planet Earth, and they don't know how to get out of it. And let me tell you, like, I've stooped super low to those dark spaces, because sometimes it's needed to get to those dark spaces so you can appreciate your life and in what you learned in those dark spaces. But you always got to know when you are in those dark spaces that you can always get out. and there is a rainbow. At the end of the rainbow, there's gold of information that you have gained to be able to give yourself that confidence, to be able to function in this life, to not be offended by everything that happens to you and happens to you externally. So when you have that type of confidence and you get rid of the old beliefs, the old thoughts that really don't serve you, that deplete you, that can inevitably make you sick at the end of the day, you are moving forward and closer to God. You're moving forward and getting closer to yourself and God. That is the main focus. Not trying to control everyone else, wishing that everybody was in a space where they were happy and in joy and they weren't sad. Like, how many times have you tried to save someone from feeling sadness when that was something for them to feel, not for you to fix, and not for you to save them from that feeling because you know what it feels like to get to that certain point. But when you were in your deep sadness, I bet you plenty of you that's watching this video, no one saved you from that sadness but yourself and God. No one did that. No one can truly help you with the sadness but yourself and God. And you have to understand, you have to know it does get better and it does change. You know, it's just, you have to know that the thoughts are not you. You have to remember your thoughts that are, especially when they're negative and telling someone to hurt themselves or telling someone to attack someone, stuff like that is not loving. That is a low vibrational energy that entity wants to entice you and fall for that energy, for you to believe that negative energy. And you're none of it. You're not any of it. You can definitely let go of all the beliefs and all the stories that you have attached to people. The stories and the beliefs that you have of yourself, and become completely empty inside, to where you could be so present that God, the energy, a higher power, overcomes you and allows you to truly be the essence of God, not the essence of a person, but the essence of God. You'll be able to tap into that energy because God is not separate from you. God is not higher than you. You are fully connected to God all day, every day, when you're sleeping, when you're eating, when you're doing nothing, when you're watching TV. You are truly connected to God. Even if God doesn't give you a sign of anything, of what's coming next for you, it's that way for a particular reason. It's that way for a particular reason, because why would you want to know what's coming next for you? God wants you to feel the uncomfortableness that you have within your body, that you feel like you don't deserve to have the things that you want to have. But you have to feel all the insecurities, all the guilt, all the shame. So when someone tries to talk badly about you and tell you that you're ugly, or tell you that you're big, or tell you that you're skinny, you're gonna be like, okay, and I'm big and I'm skinny, okay, and now what? But I think it's funny that people think that is really going to hurt someone's feelings, you know, especially a person who's really doing the work. They don't care about how you feel about them when they are confident and they love themselves every single day and they have a true connection to God. No one cares about that anymore. About how you think negatively about that individual who's doing the shadow work. They accept everything about them, and you could get to that point to where you accept everything about you. You can't put people around you on a pedestal or in a position of hierarchy just because they do certain things for you, just because they help you with certain things. They're still not above you, and they still cannot dictate how you basically feel about yourself, because you're always going to be inside of your own body. No one can come in here. No one can go inside of your body. So if that's the case, then that means people truly cannot control you. They cannot. And you'll get to a point where you'll laugh at the things that people think about you and how they feel about you, the things that they say about you that's not cute, not sweet. And why would you even want to be around someone who's like that in the first place? Why even be attracted to that in the first place? If someone's dogging you out or backstabbing you, talking about you behind your back and all this stuff, why even get into that? You got to love yourself so much to where you do not care. You will leave in a drop of a hat if someone talks to you that way. And if you can't leave, then you already know in your heart, universe, God, this is not what I want. This is not loving. This is not true to the things that I know I am capable of. And that's another reason why people fight too. This is why people fight, because they want to prove that they know that they are worth more than what they are experiencing. So it could piss people off. I've been there to where I get super upset with the situation because I'm like, God, universe, come on. Like, speed this shit up already, And the less that I let go of trying to change what I'm in and just focus my energy on myself, taking care of myself, and focusing on God more, meditating. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm working a job. I will wake up 3 a.m., 6 a.m., 2 a.m. to make sure that I'm meditating, because when I fall back on my meditation, things get so unbalanced for me and I get externally focused more than I need to be. So meditation helps me sit with myself and see what comes up, see the thoughts that come up, and be able to, now I'm able to laugh at the thoughts that pop up at times. And now they don't even really pop up anymore as much, because I've sat with myself for a long time, and I'm going to continue to the day that I die to continue to sit with myself, continue to meditate and experience God intuitively, because God is in here. God is not, it's not necessarily externally. God is in here. The spirit world is more alive than the external. Everything in here, God is in here. The universe is in here. You have infinite worlds in here. In here. And if you're wasting your time on petty things, on people that talk badly about you, you're going to continue to attract that, because people are highly programmed. They watch TV continuously. Like, our brains are like a computer. A computer. So when a person is watching TV all the time, like my grandma, she would watch TV all the time. She would watch the news all the time. It would be on all the time. And it was a lot because, people are dying, so many things happening in the news and stuff like that. But when you're watching it for hours and hours and hours at a time, your brain's not going to know what's the difference. And then you go out in the world and you act like that is actually happening, or you are actually getting attacked, and then you get offended when you didn't need to get offended, because the brain is becoming programmed to think those things, and it thinks that it's that what you are watching. And there's nothing wrong with watching the news to understand objectively what is actually going on in the world, but to not use discernment while you're watching it and understanding the truth and what is the truth, what isn't the truth, and leaving what doesn't necessarily resonate with you, then you may get programmed, and people get programmed off of what people say to them and talk about them. So they think that that's a program, so when you have people who watch TV and they're consistently in that, and there's no objective from it, or seeking for the real truth and separating what isn't real and what is, then you have a lot of people who are walking around as a program, and that's how they react and that's how they act, and they use people for that. So that's why you have people who do attack others in those situations, because they're heavily programmed and they think that's what they are, and you're nothing. You're none of those things. Your skin color doesn't fucking matter. When you pass on, when you die and you pass on, God does not give a fuck about your color. You don't even give a fuck about your color when you pass on, because you're bigger than that. You're in this body and it's dense, and we're in this world and it's heavy and it's dense. This is matter. But when you pass on, God does not care about your ethnicity, your race, the sexuality that you preferred to date. God does not give a damn about that when you pass over. God cares, were you intuitive? Did you treat people right? Did you stand up for yourself? Were you on your path in this life? Did you take chances? Did you love yourself as much as you love God? If you love God more than you love yourself, you're still missing a part of you, a part of a connection in your relationship, a deeper relationship with God. You have to love yourself just as much as you love God. It's not separate. God is not separate from you. So how could you really truly experience yourself if you don't even know who you are, if you're not trying to learn who you are, if you don't really love every aspect of yourself, your crooked feet, the acne on your face? If you don't love yourself through your sadness, if you don't love yourself through being upset and angry and mad, that's unconditional love for you and the body that you decided to come into, that you signed up for. God assigned this body to you and you agreed. So why hate on it? Just because society tells you to look a certain way? Who said that beauty is not limited? Beauty is not limited to your looks. And if you took away the human suit, the skin, would you really be focused on your appearance? Think about it. If you had no skin, no human suit to protect you, and you just had your spirit, you would be left with your thoughts. You would be forced to look at yourself. You would be forced to look at yourself and see who you truly are. And that's what's scary about it for people, that a lot of people don't want to see themselves. And none of it is wrong. None of it is wrong. Whatever mistakes you've ever done, none of it is wrong. You just have to be courageous enough to look at the mistakes that you have done in this life, because this is what life is about. Sometimes as humans, we don't make the best decisions, but what did you learn after that situation? But this is what life is about. This is why we're here on this planet Earth. This is why, to learn, to expand, to not limit ourselves of what else is possible. Why limit yourself of what else is possible in this life? Why? This is your life. So be in it. And don't be afraid of it. It's your birthright to love yourself. It's your birthright to love yourself, to want the best things out of this life. So you never have to entertain energy that is not loving. You don't. You do not. We think that we have to, you owe someone your time and your energy. We don't own anyone on this earth. None of us do. You don't own your children. You don't own your family. You don't own your partner. No one owns anything. The only person that owns something is, and I don't even want to say person, but the only thing that owns us is God, not people. No other person, nobody owns anyone. I don't care whatever relationship you're in, or whatever the case may be, you don't own anyone, because you're your own person. You're in your own body. So how could you own something that is outside of you? How could you control something that's outside of you? You can't. This is the most important thing, your heart. Nurturing yourself, nurturing your heart, being grateful. That is the most important thing. And once you start to give those baby steps of being grateful, not entertaining bull crap, because none of it matters. No one is above anyone. No one has more power than you. I don't give a fuck how much money they have. I don't care. You're your own person. You are your own person. And you have your own connection to God. And you could dig deeper and deeper and deeper into that slowly. Slowly go deeper and deeper into that. Because the things that you may see of the reality of where we are at, who you truly are, may drive you insane. It may take you there. And that's another way of really surrendering and breaking you down to understanding that you are very much so important. And there's a level of modesty mixed in with becoming humble, that you don't know anything. But what you do know, you're going to use it to be an example to what truly God is. You won't have to say much. You are an example of the highest God energy. So thank you guys so much for listening, and remember that it's just energy. To never be afraid of someone being angry, because when you are in that frequency of love, that will always overtrump that frequency of anger and sadness and someone trying to tear you down. You're in love, so you're in love with yourself. You're in love with life. You're in love with God. So you don't have to do anything. You don't have to do anything when you're in that space. So thank you guys so much for listening, and I will be back again with another video. Peace.